Hello everybody, my name is Celestial. Today we'll be talking about the Duet Biz global launch announcement stream. If you don't want to hear me yap for a couple of minutes, just really quickly about a few things before we actually talk about the highlights of the stream, you could just click to the next chapter, which I'll make chapters for each highlight, just so I don't waste anybody's time. You can look at the features that you specifically care about. The biggest thing that I'll say before we go into the highlights is that they removed the gacha from the game, which is amazing. However, before I talk a little bit more about that and why that makes me really excited for this game and really happy, I am honored that the developers invited me to do the creator watch party. A very limited amount of time to make this video and post it on YouTube and all that. I was actually supposed to stream, but because it was at 3:30 a.m. on a Monday, I didn't. I apologize, developers. I also had weird internet issues, so it wasn't until like 4 a.m., so 30 minutes into the stream, which I just assumed I just missed half the stream. But it turns out about 30 minutes of the stream was just B-roll of trailers, which is fine. I don't know why they did that. The trailers are great, but it just looping through a couple of trailers, but overall, you guys can check out some of the other creators. So I have an image here that will just show all the creators. Check them out. They're other DNA creators. These are officially DNA creators under the supervision of the creator team for Duet Abyss. Again, thank you guys for this opportunity. I never even thought I could. I mean, my YouTube channel is small. My Twitch channel is a little bit bigger, but my viewership's not great on Twitch. So I just appreciate it. I've actually won some contests for that creator program, which blew my mind, but maybe that just shows the game needs more attention because I should be winning. So this game holds a special place in my heart, so I really am having fun making this video, just talking about the highlights. It's really exciting because I played the first closed beta and the second beta, and I'll actually leave a link for this stream if you just want to check out the stream, because I'm not going to have audio of the stream in this video just to make it easier for editing purposes, and also just get to hear my commentary so we're not distracting from the quality of the stream. But the main thing is that I will have a couple of streams from the first closed beta and the second closed beta in my description too. You can just check those out. There are drastic differences between the first closed beta and the second beta, and there's gonna be more changes on release that are pretty drastic, but it's not bad. It's a good thing. These are good changes. Before we actually talk about the highlights, the last thing I'll just say, I play a lot of gacha games. You could look on my YouTube channel and just see all the VODs of gacha games I've played. I hate the monetary model of gacha games, and I understand why a lot of mobile games specifically are enticed by it because it makes money. It makes a lot of money. Look at how much Hoyoverse make. But this type of game that Duet Abyss is, it's a loot and shoot, and it just doesn't work as a gacha game. It could have, but the developers, and you'll see this, I'll talk about this later in the video, where the developers actually talk about this. They care about people's time, and they also care about giving you the ability to make decisions over your wallet, especially build. A lot of people will compare this to Warframe, and it does have a lot of similarities to Warframe. It's basically an anime Warframe, especially the removal of gacha. But nothing wrong with that. This game is high quality. It's going to be really well polished on release. The second closed beta was definitely more polished than the first beta. There's a lot of unfinished stuff to the first beta, but then a couple months later, second beta came out, super polished. So now they have a couple more months to polish stuff up and remove some stuff, change some stuff. It's gonna be great. This game's fantastic. I recommend it, and we'll see on October 28th. That's when the game comes out. But anyway, let's actually get to the stream. I apologize for yapping, but I have to talk about all that. There's so many things I just don't like about gacha. First off, GigaChad background, all that artwork, also in the aesthetic of the game. So here they're actually talking about free weapons, free characters, and you know what? Because they're removing the gacha, which, yeah, thank you, developer. That was a huge problem with the game. Now they talk about stamina right here, see free Sanergy, and a couple of things they talk about, which I can attest from viewers that would come onto my streams for this game when I streamed the closed beta, was actually basically with these endless modes like exploration with the waves. You reach wave 3 or 4, it starts costing more stamina. So it starts off as 30, but each wave is going to cost more stamina, greater rewards. And that created, which developers acknowledged, two issues. People would log onto the game just to use Sanergy, just to level up their trial rank. And the other issue is it's not really an endless mode anymore. This is also a problem with commissions, which they'll talk about commissions later. But that is, yeah, just remove the stamina. Another thing which I'll zoom in on to is the combat partner auto summon. Combat partners were in both closed betas, but having them auto summon is amazing. So you have a preset loadout, and I'm guessing you can put your two combat partners in there. This is just a feature to make solo more friendly and co-op more optional because a lot of people like to solo farm in these types of games. It takes a character that you set a loadout for and a weapon. You can't have that same weapon. It can't overlap with another character. So it has to be just on that character. They use that weapon and they use their abilities and they follow you around. They can die though, but they revive themselves. And they can revive you, I think. I'm not sure about that. But now there's an auto summon feature. You don't have to pull up your tool wheel to toss them onto the ground and summon them. They just immediately are there, which is another example of how the developers don't want to waste people's time. They want to value your time and experience in the game, which, yes, that is perfect. The next highlight they talk about is trial XP gaining because before it was tied to your stamina consumption or Sanergy, right? Now it's tied to progression. You complete a quest, you obtain something for the first time, like a weapon, a genimon, a character. You ascend them, and characters will still have introns, even though there's no gacha, which we'll get to in a second. How you get introns, or how I suspect you'll get introns. They don't really explain it, but they do explain you getting copies of characters. Smelting a weapon because weapons you have to craft. Now, genimons, if you didn't play the beta or watch it, basically those are creatures that you find around the world. Not an open world game, but the maps are pretty large for each area. And these you throw stuff at them to capture them. They give you passive buffs when you equip them. And some of them actually have buffs where they don't even need to be equipped. I think might have that wrong. And then demon wedges are like mods in Warframe, or you can think of them like prefixes in Path of Exile, but you can change them, or actually even skill gems similar to that. Now, they mentioned throughout the stream are still daily commissions, even though there's no gachas. I don't know if it's just for trial XP, although you're not obligated to log on to the game every day, which I like. Keeps the game very casual. And obviously, completing quests, including side quests, plays a role in trial XP gain. But that basically means you could just grind the game all day and level up. You're not limited by your freaking stupid stamina. You're not pressured. Even if you miss a day, there's no premium currency you're earning by logging in every day. Well, maybe there is, but you're not reliant on that Sanergy. You could grind all day for a character, no restrictions on that. So right now they're talking about how they removed 4 stars and 5 stars. They also talk about the problems with gacha, like when you lose a 50-50, it feels really shitty. How do they get around not having gacha in the game? So now there's 2 ways to get characters and weapons. Daily commissions and weekly commissions have drops. Then those drop commission letters, and you collect those letters that are specific to the characters. And then you do those letters, which now you can just click on the letter to enter the mission instead of figuring out which one to do and all that. And then you get shards, and it's not like a random amount of shards, it's set based on that letter. And then once you have enough shards, you can get the character. The monetary component of this is, let's say you don't want to farm that character, you can just buy them, like Warframe. See, Warframe had the system where you get a blueprint for the overall Warframe, the chassis, the systems, and the helmet. You have to craft the helmet, chassis, systems, then you craft the overall Warframe, which takes 72 hours. Or you can just buy the Warframe in the shop for platinum, right? In this same case, there's gonna be a premium currency, which I'm guessing where the cosmetics and stuff will play a role. You can buy individual fragments or shards, I should say. And they'll talk about this later on, but the sealed letters will have these icons that will indicate the character instead of being a number. Because that was one of the problems with the commission letters previously, was that there was just numbers. And then you'll get materials for weapons, and then you can smelt and craft weapons. And maybe perhaps like there was in closed beta too. There might be, they don't talk about, but there might be letters for certain weapon parts too. Because it seems like they're implementing that in the closed beta too. Obviously, now that they remove gacha, they're gonna add character shards too. So this game is fully, you grind for stuff and you get it. And let's say you don't want to grind, that's where you can spend money and support the game. Literally just like Warframe. Not in a bad way, in a good way. a really valid change to the game. This is where they show the, the character shards and stuff you get from the commission letters. The commission letters aren't time gated. They don't expire in your inventory. You don't have a limited amount of time to use them. They're 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 just there. You collect them, you can use them. Now maybe there'll be like a limited amount of inventory space for them or something. Who knows? You could just collect them. And you can also get demon wedges out of this too, as it shows with the little box icon right there. I'm guessing that's going to be demon wedges. And so my guess is, based off this highlight from the stream, is that that means that to get introns, you have to get, character shards. This is just showing like the menu where you could just buy character shards. You could buy individual ones. Another thing is because they remove the rarity of all this stuff, characters will no longer have, 4-star, 5-star, same with weapons. So everything they have to rebalance. Makes sense. And I'm sure that means they're going to have to rebalance the introns. Maybe suggestions for the developers, make each intron stronger than the previous now that there's not, binded to limited gacha, right? These sealed commission letters for characters will always be available in the game. They're not limited by some amount of time. But perhaps with the introns and with the rebalancing of characters in the game, maybe make each intron stronger. I'm not saying that's what they say in the stream, but I'm just saying maybe they should do that, right? And then just make that intron really broken. Hopefully they give us the ability to turn those off and on, because that would also be nice. Right here, they're showing the progress bar for a character at the bottom of the screen, showing how many character shards you need to unlock that character. Don't know if that plays a role in introns too. They don't show that, but then there's a nice little animation, which is like the gacha splash, right? Because I'll give gacha games the credit. The artwork for a lot of the animation stuff is really amazing, especially the gacha splash. Now they're talking about how's the game going to make money besides buying character shards. It's cosmetic. So this is a Fushu outfit, a swimsuit outfit. Obviously, this is a great monetary model. Think of League of Legends or Smite. Those games have survived for a long time. What's one of the ways that have kept them alive besides buying heroes? Like Smite has like the ultimate god pack. You just buy every god. It's outfits. Not just that, these come with special effects and like other props, which is really cool. So this is probably like a higher tier outfit, which I always like to think of Smite, where there's different tiers of outfits, which makes them more expensive. Like the $100 outfits would be the ones that are tier 5, or you can only get them through like donating an X amount of money to a charity or something like that. But those are like 3 different models, if not more, combined into one. So this is really great. New outfit, new animations, new visual effects, comes with props. Like, that's amazing. And people will buy it, especially especially in an anime game like this. When you give the people the power to spend money how they want to spend money, they'll probably spend more money. Outfits are a great way of doing that. Character shards are a great way of doing that, right? I'm sure you could just buy weapons probably from their store too, I'm guessing. Again, if it's set up like Warframe in its monetary model, it's perfect. They're also working on seasonal themed outfits, as they talk about here, which this is Psyche, and they're showing a Christmas skin for Psyche, which is great because the game comes out in October. Probably a little too late for Halloween skins. Or maybe the game will come out with Halloween skins. I don't know. I would probably spend money on a Halloween skin, not gonna lie. But Christmas skins, that's cool too. That's great. This actually looks really good for concept art too. They also talk about model upgrades. So these were outfits that were from the second closed beta, and they're just upgrading these models. I think these are great changes. Oh yeah, that's pretty significant for Psyche. Some other model upgrades like Bernicia, Lady Knife. Oh, that Lady Knife one's great. I don't remember this character's name, but pretty subtle, but looks great. So one of the things about the second closed beta and the first closed beta in the like main city area, there's some areas that feel like they were unfinished or just not done. Apparently, they've really upgraded the graphics, which you can really see. There's just some extra details. They said they added more shops. They just made the city feel more lively. This next segment is an area that was a little darker. It just feels more lively. There's like plants. They've added a lot more props and details on these props, which is a nice change. So these were the protagonists. They weren't playable. Now they are playable. They were playable in the story, but now they are actually officially playable characters, which is really cool. They had really cool kits that were fun to play. So there's dungeon changes, basic to speed up the dungeons gameplay. You're not limited by time. You're limited by the completion of the mission. Something I hope, because I've complained about this in both betas, that they add or change is the enemy spawns in these missions and maybe make the missions feel a little more random, especially since they're making it more grindy. There was a lot of missions that when you repeated them, the enemies would spawn relatively in the same areas. It just didn't feel random enough. Obviously, it was the beta, so I didn't feel, oh, that's unfortunate, but it was pretty obvious that they needed to polish that up, which I'm sure they are. Another thing that shows they don't want to waste people's time. They want you to enjoy the game, and that's all they want. They don't care if you log in every day. Well, they probably do, but they're not going to enforce it. And they don't want missions wasting your time, which is also great. Plus, if you think about it, if a mission's wasting your time, are you actually going to have fun at that point? You're going to get annoyed and you're not going to have fun. Just small things like this matter so much in the end. And I really like the developers are fully aware of this. Yeah, they mentioned the faster you clear them, the faster you're out. Ooh. Another thing they mentioned somewhere in the stream, and I seem to have lost where they mentioned it, but dungeon doublers still exist. So some of the major changes are they've added sprint. You just hold shift and you'll sprint right away. And then they've added changes to Helix jump. They've made it easier to Helix jump, which I admit I had problems with the Helix jump too. It felt awkward. It felt weird. They've also added other things across the map to make transversing quicker. So right here they're talking about grapple points to make it quicker to run around throughout the city. That's great. I have no problem with this. That's great. Yeah, the Helix jump is really awkward. I rarely used it compared to like Warframe. I don't know. For some reason, it was just like your fingers would cramp, which even the developers here talk about how their fingers would cramp trying to do that. So they better mapping for the Helix jump, and you can remap it. Another thing is the 4 players don't have to go to the hub area anymore and talk to the Luno there to forge stuff. You can forge anywhere using the forging codex. As they mentioned, an epic level QOL feature. Yeah, it makes me so happy to see all these QOL features being added to the game. Like I'm genuinely so excited. One of the things is they've changed the story presentation based off player feedback. So cutscenes and static dialogue performances have been altered, and new cinematic touches. Some shots during some of the cinematics have been altered. More expressive facial animations, lip syncing. That's awesome. Something I complain about a lot of anime games, not just gacha games in general, just anime games, is when you have scenes of characters just talking and they're just standing there talking. Some games like Wuthering Waves have gotten really good where characters will start doing stuff. Even if it's just walking around the table and the camera moves in a certain way, it just pans. That's more interesting than just watching characters talk to each other or even just black screens. Right now, I will say in the second closed beta, especially one of the final main chapter stories in the beta, which involved a theater, that was really much better. The Psyche story is really expressive and heartbreaking. That's a big part of the first part of the main story. That second part, man, there are some scenes that are just so epic, and hearing them saying they're improving just the overall story performance makes me so excited. And the fact that you can play in solo just lets people do more stuff in co-op. That's fantastic, right? So all commissions are co-opable. One of the last things is a mobile performance boost. Pretty amazing to have a loot and shoot on your phone. I did hear people complaining about it on mobile, and the developers addressed it in this video, so that's pretty awesome. Also, it looks like there's more enemies. I don't know if they've tweaked that. That's like the intro area in the story. Usually 4 enemies that spawn there. It's just a tutorial for ammo. Looks like there were more enemies there. Maybe there's other changes. Yeah, so that's probably the last change they talk about. No paywalls. Pretty much just enjoy the game. Remove gacha, all that. There is a web event going on for some extra stuff that you can unlock to play it, and pre-registering for DNA. Developers will be posting more stuff as it gets closer to launch about these changes to the game and character guides and all that. So the game launches at October 28th. Yeah, this is so exciting. And I'm sad I missed the stream live, but it's just life. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Seriously, give this game some love. The developers truly seem passionate about this game, and they clearly care about what players think. They're also doing a small test prior to launch to make sure all the balancing changes are appropriate, given they have to rebalance the whole game with the removal of gacha. But again, now those people that don't like gacha games can enjoy this game, and people that enjoy anime games can also enjoy this game. It's kind of a weird fusion of those two categories of loot and shoot and anime. See, I have 3,000 hours on Warf, actually more than that. Bro, I don't really play it that much anymore. I don't really enjoy it, but I've had my time with those kind of grindy games. I have like 600 plus hours on Path of Exile. And so there are a lot of things about this game in the closed beta that I wasn't really happy with. I didn't complain too much about it, except minor things like the enemies, story stuff, the commissions, which costed a lot of stamina, but now that doesn't matter, right? But seeing the changes they talk about makes me so happy. I've had my fair share of these grindy farming games that, you know, to unlock stuff, but this feels like a proper RPG where you're constantly unlocking stuff. You unlocking stuff is tied to progression and how much are you going out of your way to get this stuff, not how much money are you going to spend trying to get this. You know, the gacha loop gets really old really fast. Coming from somebody who's played a lot of gacha games, gacha pulls just make me feel dead. But grinding for something and then getting it, and then you're like, yeah, I grinded for this. There is something magical about that feeling. And let's talk about Warframe. Warframe has been around for, I think, more than 10 years now. I think its 10-year anniversary was this year, or maybe it was last year. I don't know. You can fact check me in the comments. And it's still going strong and hard. It has a dedicated community that just, it keeps on going. And same with Path of Exile. That's been going strong. Cosmetics being, you know, to purchase, that's how a game should be. An online game should be, you know. You should be restricted to, oh, you need to buy inventory slots. Oh, you need to buy this currency to gamble for a character. Like, in this day and age, it is nice seeing a game that doesn't want to waste your time. Developers acknowledge people don't want their time wasted. And I think there is something magical about that. Because the problem with modern gaming is there are so many games that just waste your time. And with the accessibility of so many other games, who cares? Right? If a game wastes your time and you're just not having fun anymore, you might as well just stop playing the game, unless you want to keep on playing the game, right? I can understand the urge to still want to play, but ultimately, you know, you shouldn't feel forced to play the game to enjoy the game. And something they mentioned previously in this stream, which I didn't really highlight, but it's that they acknowledge that with gacha, there might be a character that, you know, around for a limited amount of time, right? There's a build or builds that revolve around having that character, but you don't want to spend, so you end up not getting that character. And that sucks. So then you can't do that build. Now they can build metas around how grindy is something, which is what Warframe does, right? You know, you spend a little bit of money because you don't want to grind for that. That's fine, right? That's perfectly fine. It's still in your power to try and get that. I don't know if there'll be like weapon slots like Warframe or inventory slots, stuff like that. I don't know. But just hearing their changes makes me just so excited. Please, developers, if you ever see this video, which at least I hope you check the beginning and the end, at least to make sure I'm, you know, doing my part as a content creator. Thank you for these changes. This is just so exciting. This makes just, I haven't been excited for a game besides Silksong. I'm excited for that in a long time. And some games that I were excited for, like unfortunately, like Tower of Fantasy when that came out, that game made me feel betrayed. But that is a gacha game that has one of the most predatory gacha models compared to most gacha games. So setting all that aside, seeing the removal of gacha, seeing the removal of stamina, seeing all these QL changes, it's just so dang excited. And thank you, developers, for doing this. Thank you for listening, players, and making these really big decisions right at the end. I mean, to change your whole monetary model is wild, and honestly, this is something that should go down in gaming history as absolutely crazy, but not in a bad way. So I hope I see you guys in the next video, and when the game launches, I will be making a lot of videos. I have a lot of closed beta videos on my hard drive. The reason why I didn't upload them is partly because it's just a lot of editing for not a lot of views. I know I got to keep on posting videos to get views, but I don't know. Sometimes I record something and I realize it's probably not worth people's time. It's not worth my time. It takes a lot of time to make long form content. Unfortunately, I mean, even short form content can take a lot of time to make a quality edit, and long form content's even more. I'm also working on some animation projects for another channel. I'm also considering crowdfunding a short film. I haven't fully made that decision yet. I've been very busy while also looking for a job IRL. So it's I care about my time and I care about other people's time and I don't want to waste anybody's time. Again, if you've watched to this end, seeing me yap about all this stuff, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, and check this game out when it comes out. Even if you don't like it, anime games, it's a loot and shoot, and it's really high quality. It was really high quality in the beta. So I seriously, I'm not being sponsored to tell you. I have no problem promoting this game. I think it's just amazing. See you in the next one.
Bye.